Emma always believed that home was the one place where a person should feel safe. But inside her own house, she had slowly started feeling like a stranger. For years, Emma had worked hard to support her family. She paid the electricity bills, bought groceries, and repaired things whenever something broke. She never complained because she loved her parents. She thought one day they would finally see her efforts, but she was wrong. One cold evening, Emma came home after a long day at work. She noticed her parents sitting at the dining table with serious faces. A white envelope was placed in front of her. Her father looked at her and said, "You need to read this." Emma opened the envelope. Her eyes stopped when she saw the first line. Monthly rent required, $1,200. For a few seconds, she thought it was a joke. Rent. Emma asked quietly, "You want me to pay rent?" Her mother crossed her arms and replied, "Yes. You are living here, so you need to contribute properly. If you cannot pay, you'll have to find another place." Emma looked around the room where she had grown up. The walls held memories of her childhood. The kitchen was where she learned to cook with her mother. The backyard was where her grandfather used to tell her stories. And now they were telling her she was only a tenant. Her younger brother laughed from the sofa. "Maybe now you'll understand that nothing belongs to you," he said. Emma felt a deep pain in her chest, but she did not argue. She simply folded the paper and walked upstairs. That night, while everyone slept, Emma opened an old wooden box that had belonged to her grandfather. She had almost forgotten about it. Inside were old photographs, letters, and a sealed envelope with her name written on it. Her hand started shaking because she remembered her grandfather's final words before he passed away. "Emma, one day they may try to make you forget your place, but always remember the truth is written somewhere." She slowly opened the envelope, and what she found inside would change everything. Emma stared at the papers inside the envelope, but she could not understand what she was seeing. There were old documents, signatures, and official stamps. Some pages had dates from many years ago. Her grandfather's handwriting appeared on a small note attached to the papers. It said, "Emma, keep these safe. The truth may sleep for years, but it never disappears." Her heart started beating faster. Why would her grandfather leave these papers for her? Why did he tell her to keep them hidden? Before she could read more, Emma heard footsteps outside her bedroom. She quickly placed everything back inside the envelope and hid it under her clothes. The door opened. It was her father. "You should start thinking about the rent," he said coldly. "Your first payment is due next month." Emma looked at him and wanted to ask so many questions. She wanted to ask why he was treating his own daughter like a stranger. She wanted to ask why money had become more important than family. But she stayed quiet. "Okay," she simply replied. Her father smiled, thinking she had accepted defeat. After he left, Emma waited until morning. She took the documents and went to a small office across town. The name on the old note led her to a lawyer named Daniel, a man who had worked with her grandfather many years ago. When Emma placed the papers on his desk, his expression changed immediately. He carefully looked through every page. Then he removed his glasses and looked at Emma. "Where did you get these?" he asked. "My grandfather left them for me," Emma answered. Daniel became silent. He picked up one document again and checked the signature. Then another. His face turned serious. "Emma, does your family know you have these papers?" "No," she whispered. Daniel slowly closed the file. "Good," he said, "because if they knew, they would do everything possible to stop you from discovering the truth." Emma felt a chill. For the first time, she realized the rent demand was not just about money. Something much bigger had been hidden from her. Emma sat across from Daniel, waiting for him to explain the meaning behind the old documents. For several moments, the lawyer said nothing. He carefully arranged the papers on his desk and looked at them one more time. "Your grandfather trusted you more than anyone," Daniel finally said. Emma looked confused. "Trusted me with what?" Daniel opened the main document. "This house." Emma stopped breathing for a moment. "What do you mean?" Daniel pointed at the official records. "Your grandfather legally transferred ownership of this property many years ago. Your name is on the deed." Emma felt like the room had suddenly become silent. "My name?" she asked. "Yes," Daniel replied. This house belongs to you. Emma looked down at the papers, trying to understand. All those years, her parents had acted like they owned everything. They made decisions, controlled the house, and now they were demanding rent from her. But they never checked the truth. Daniel explained that after the transfer, her grandfather wanted Emma to have a home because he believed she was the only person who truly cared about the family. He knew something might happen one day. Daniel said, he wanted to protect you. Emma remembered her grandfather's kindness. He was the only person in the family who always believed in her. But why didn't he tell me? Emma asked. Daniel gave a small sigh. Maybe he wanted you to discover your own strength when the right time came. Emma looked at the documents again. She could immediately go home and tell her parents everything. She could watch their faces change. But Daniel stopped her. Do not rush, he warned. Right now. They think they have power over you. Let them show their true selves. Emma understood. For years, she had been trying to prove her worth to people who refused to see it. Now she had something stronger than anger. She had the truth. When Emma returned home that evening, her parents were waiting. Her father placed another paper on the table. We made a decision, he said. Emma picked it up. It was an official eviction notice. Emma looked at the eviction notice sitting on the table. For a moment, she could not believe what she was seeing. Her own parents were trying to remove her from the house she legally owned. Her father stood proudly with his arms crossed. This is your final warning, he said. If you cannot respect our rules, you will leave. Emma looked at him calmly. She wanted to tell him everything. She wanted to place the deed in front of him and watch his confidence disappear. But she remembered Daniel's advice. Let them show their true selves. So Emma stayed silent. Okay, she replied. Her parents smiled, believing they had won. They did not know every word they said was being saved. Over the next few days, Emma quietly collected proof. She saved every message where her parents demanded money. She kept every paper they gave her. She recorded conversations when they talked about forcing her out. Meanwhile, her parents became more confident. They told relatives that Emma was being difficult. She refuses to pay rent. Her mother complained during a family dinner. She thinks she deserves everything. Her brother added. Nobody knew the truth. Nobody knew that Emma was the legal owner of the house. Everyone believed she was just a daughter who did not want to follow her parents' rules. Emma listened quietly as people judged her, but she no longer felt hurt, because for the first time, she knew the truth. 1 week later, her parents planned a meeting. They invited family members and even a neighbor who had known them for years. Their plan was simple. They wanted to embarrass Emma in front of everyone and force her to leave. Her father placed a folder on the table. We have proof she has no right to stay here, he announced. Everyone looked at Emma. They expected her to cry. They expected her to beg. Instead, Emma calmly picked up her phone and sent one message. A few minutes later, a car stopped outside the house. The front door opened, and the person who walked inside changed everything. The room became silent when Daniel walked through the front door. Emma's parents looked confused. Her father stood up quickly. Who are you? He asked. Daniel calmly placed his briefcase on the table. My name is Daniel Carter. I am the lawyer representing Emma regarding this property. The confidence on her parents' faces started to disappear. Her mother looked at Emma. You brought a lawyer here? Emma did not answer. She simply watched as Daniel opened his folder. I believe there has been a misunderstanding, Daniel said. Her father laughed. There is no misunderstanding. This is our house. Daniel slowly placed a document on the table. Actually, according to the official records, this property belongs to Emma. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Her brother looked at the paper and shook his head. That's impossible. Daniel turned the document toward everyone. The deed was legally transferred years ago. The ownership was registered and completed. Emma has been the legal owner of this house. The room became completely quiet. Her mother's face changed. You knew this? She asked Emma. Emma looked at her. No, I discovered it after you tried to charge me rent. Her father grabbed the paper and read it again. His hands started shaking. For years, he had acted like he controlled everything. For years, He had made Emma feel like she was lucky to have a place to stay. But the truth was different. She was not a guest. She was not a tenant. She was the owner. The relatives who had judged Emma earlier looked embarrassed. The neighbor lowered his eyes. Everyone finally understood what had happened. Emma's father sat down quietly. The anger in his voice was gone. After a long silence, he looked at her and asked, "If this house was yours all along, why didn't you throw us out the moment you found out?" Emma looked around the room. She had waited years for this moment, but her answer surprised everyone. Emma looked at her father sitting quietly at the table. For the first time in years, he had no angry words, no demands, no accusations, only silence. Everyone in the room waited for Emma's answer. She looked at the old walls around her and remembered all the moments she had shared in that house. She remembered her grandfather teaching her kindness. She remembered the promises she made to herself when she was young. Finally, Emma spoke, because this was never about the house. Her parents looked at her. It was never about money. It was about how you made me feel like I didn't belong in the place where I grew up. Nobody said a word. Emma explained that she did not want revenge. She only wanted respect. She gave her parents time to find another place if they could not accept the new situation. Her father looked ashamed. For years, he thought power came from controlling others. But now he understood that he had pushed away the one person who always cared about him. Her mother tried to apologize, but the damage from years of hurt could not disappear in one day. Emma did not scream. She did not celebrate their pain. She simply walked upstairs and opened her grandfather's old room. The room was still filled with memories. On the desk, she placed a note he had left for her. The truth may sleep for years, but it never disappears. Months later, the house changed. The walls were painted. The broken things were repaired. But the biggest change was inside Emma. For the first time, she walked through her own front door without feeling like she had to earn her place. She was finally home, and the people who once made her feel powerless learned the greatest lesson. Sometimes the quietest person in the room is the one holding the truth that can change everything.